affirmations and how to best do your affirmations in Define My Day. I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to do this every week until we get through the entire Define My Day process so that you can always come back and watch these videos to get a refresher. Or if you're just starting out and you're going through the end of the year, you can follow us along. And I don't want you to only do the parts we're talking about, but you can always refine your approach as you're learning Define My Day. So it's good for the Define My Day veterans. Uh, to the new people that are just starting off, we have that walkthrough that we did a couple of years ago. This is a way to go a little bit more in depth, have a conversation with you guys about it, and answer any questions along the way. So consider this a more in-depth version of the walkthrough that we have on our YouTube page to help you, get a little bit more into Define My Day and get the most out of it. Good morning, Kelly. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. If you're on here and you're watching, as we're going along, we're going to pick a random person to win the Do One Thing Every Day That Inspires You. We're going to give this away today to somebody that writes down one of their new affirmations before the end of this session. So write down your comment. When you comment one of your new affirmations after we go through this, we'll give this away to you. We're also going to be announcing at the end of this all of the people that won the giveaways that we had last week. We gave away on Thanksgiving, we gave away 2 coaching sessions. It's actually a coaching course for like 5 weeks in January and February next year to help people start off 2020 as strong as possible. So we're going to go through, you get a Start Strong package, which has 4 Define My Days and a bunch of accessories. You get a 1-day live workshop with me to set up Define My Day in the proper way. And then we do a weekly Zoom meeting with a small group of the participants to see how you're doing, answer any questions, kind of realign your focus. And we're also going to do a one-on-one private session. So we're going to have a 1-hour private session where we can talk about what your concerns are, what your goals are, hardships you're going through, and try to help you work through that. So I think it's going to be great. This is going to be an awesome experience for you guys. I'm looking forward to it. If you want to purchase that package, we gave 2 of them away for Thanksgiving, but if you want to purchase it, it's on the website now. Today we're going to be giving away, we gave away Aqua Notes last week. We gave away Pink Define My Days with some kick-ass stickers, which actually is the name of the stickers. And then we gave 2 free Define My Days to people in the user group for answering questions about their priorities. And I ask these questions for a reason in the user group because I want you to level up your priorities. We're going to talk about that in a few weeks when we get to the priority section of Define My Day. But I want you to level up your priorities. I want you to level up your goals. You know, cleaning the house shouldn't be a priority every day. A priority is something that improves you as a person, that moves you forward towards your goals. Every so often, if your overall priority, if your overall goal is to become a more organized person, then yes, cleaning up the house could be a priority for the day because it's factoring into a larger goal for you. But if you're just putting to-do list items, if you're just putting a check-off thing in your priorities, that's not where we want to go. So that's why the second question we asked in the user group last week was, how is this priority moving you forward? And we got some really good answers in there, so I appreciate everybody that participated in that. How's everybody doing after Thanksgiving? We had a socially distant Thanksgiving. We did some Zoom calls and some FaceTiming with people, but it was just the 4 of us for Thanksgiving dinner, and it was kind of nice. My boys love Thanksgiving dinner. In fact, it might be something we have to work into the regular dinner routine. They love the turkey. They love the mashed potatoes, the stuffing. Even like first time they've ever had crescent rolls. So it was crazy. They even love the cranberry sauce. I'm not a cranberry sauce person, but my youngest one dices it up and slathers it all over the turkey, which, my turkey, I made the best smoked turkey I've ever made. And, but he slathers it all over it. They love it. They love the leftovers. They were just insane about dinner. We ate turkey for like 3 days straight. I was so done with turkey by yesterday. But it was fun. It was really fun. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. And then the rest of the weekend, I mean, we had Black Friday. Black Friday was nuts. I worked a lot this weekend, so I think today I'm going to take advantage of some Cyber Monday deals. I'm going to, like, after I clock out of here, I'm going to go work out, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon surfing the internet. I mean, that's my deal with myself. I did work Friday, Saturday, and then yesterday I cleaned up the remaining leaves that were in the yard. I organized the entire garage. The Steelers, are playing now tomorrow, so I didn't really have any football to watch yesterday. I kind of half listened to the games that were on, and I just made my priority cleaning up the house. Everything outside. I finished the Christmas lights outside, and it was just I'm sore actually. I'm kind of sore today. I definitely got all my calories burned according to my watch yesterday. But today, because of how busy my weekend was, today is going to be my day to check out after lunch today. And don't forget, speaking of checking out deals, if you weren't able to get in any of the Black Friday deals, we do have Cyber Monday deals. They're pretty stinking good. So if you want to get out there and get the Cyber Monday deals, check out the website right now. And we have really good Cyber Monday deals on the accessories, single books, bundles, the Define My Year, all that stuff. It's all good stuff. What was I going to say? Oh, something just flew away. I had a little bit of a brain fart there. But yeah, so check out the website. We got good stuff going on. And I appreciate your business. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The only one that's not on sale is the American flag Define My Day. That's because we're trying to donate as much of the proceeds as possible to the Veterans Leadership Program. So we don't want to discount it because we don't want to take money away from them. That one really did not sell at all this weekend because everything else was on sale. But that's not the point with that one. We're trying to raise money with that one, and it's just a cool cover, so it's definitely my favorite one. All right, let's get into the comments real quick here. I said good morning to Kelly. Angel, good morning. Kim, good morning. Yeah, that's cool, right? Good morning, Angie. Good morning, Lori. Good to see you. Good to see you, Karen. Kathy, how are you? Kim, hi. Wow. Angela. Sandy, good morning. Kim, yes, absolutely. Anna, good morning. And Angel, your kids might like lingonberry if they like the cranberry sauce. We use that on Swedish meatballs, which we have often since my husband is from Sweden. Really? Lingonberry? I've never heard of that. A berry that nobody's ever heard of that I love is gooseberries. My grandfather had a gooseberry bush out back behind his house. It was gigantic. And we used to pick gooseberries off of that. We'd go swimming in the pool and then run around the yard and pick off gooseberries and eat gooseberries until we're sick. I love those things. And most people have never heard of them. And, after he passed away and the bush died and, we don't have it anymore, I went looking online. Well, I went looking at every landscaping place or garden center in Pittsburgh, and nobody had it. So I went looking online and couldn't find it. And I found one place that was selling like branches. So I bought them and planted them in my old house, and we ended up digging them up and bringing them to this house. And every June, you get a bunch of berries. My grandmother used to make gooseberry pie, and we used to love it. We used to love it. And it can't be that hard to make. But I'm going to have to maybe see if I can try to figure that out next year. The bushes aren't really that big yet to have that many to make a pie, but we're getting there. It's funny. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look that up. Julie, good morning. Amy, how are you guys? Karen has a gooseberry bush, so you know what I'm talking about. Nobody has ever heard of these. In fact, when I was looking them up, the closest I could find for the longest time were currants, which are a French berry they make liquor out of it or something. All right, so let's get into the lesson. I want to get into this because I want to make sure we're covering what we need to cover in the proper amount of time here. I don't want to go over an hour here with you guys. All right, so let's get into it. Affirmations. What are they? They're in the beginning of the book. It's the first page. I have them there so that as soon as you open up your book, you see one of two things. You see small steps, big results on the left, which is like I want that in your mind every time you're looking at your affirmations. Like that. That's a little seed I want to plant in your head. Small steps. That should be like almost like a little affirmation for you. Small steps lead up to big results over time. So that's sort of my big affirmation I give you guys every day. But on the right side, we have this page that just says affirmations and then with a bunch of lines. So what do we do with that? What do we do with it? First of all, let's talk about why it's important. Um, what's the reason we're doing this? Is it just to make ourselves feel good? Um, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be reprogramming our brains. What we want to do is fix our mindset. We're already doing affirmations. You're doing affirmations every day. They're probably negative. Anytime you have a doubt, you know, when you were a kid, does he like me? Does she like me? No, probably not. I'm not cool enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good looking enough. Like those are all negative affirmations. When you go into a job or a meeting or whatever, and all the negative stuff you tell yourself, I'm not good enough for this. I'm not, or anything negative you're saying is a negative affirmation. There's studies, and I don't know that this is actually true and how they figured this out, but there's studies that say that like 87% of your thoughts are negative. And that's awful. And I think that's just the way our brains work, right? Our brains are trained to look for threats. And part of that is the negative thought thing. So, what we want to do with affirmations is tip the scales in the other direction. And so, affirmations for me are part of my morning routine, and it's just as simple as reading it over. If you're really feeling bad, then maybe it's envisioning an affirmation, and really getting into like picturing what your affirmation says. But what we're trying to do is if our thoughts are 87% negative, I'm just throwing that out there. It might not be 100% true, but if it's 87% negative, if we can make our thoughts 86% negative instead, and 14% positive, then we're making progress. Small steps, right? Small steps. So we're trying to improve our mindset with the story, the things we're telling ourselves. We want to change how we think about ourselves and where we're going. And I'll tell you, as far as when we do affirmations, I do mine in the morning, like I said. But there were many times, especially going into a difficult sales call or a difficult meeting that I knew was going to be stressful, I would sit in my car at a customer's location and I would read them over. And my affirmations might be, I am confident. It might have been, I am knowledgeable about what I am talking about. I won't react to negative statements, negative thinking. Like a lot of like because customers are, like they're almost it's almost like you have to be kind of a psychologist to walk into a sales call sometimes. Like you're trying to walk somebody through a difficult situation, or even not even a sales call, but a meeting about a difficult situation. And so you almost have to be kind of a psychologist. In order to do that, I needed to have the right mindset myself. So I made statements about the way that I wanted to be in the situation. So I fixed my mindset before going into the situation. You may have done this going into Thanksgiving dinner. If you went out and were with family in Thanksgiving dinner and you have that difficult aunt or uncle, the parent that makes off the wall political statements, somebody that was like just going to agitate you. An affirmation might be, I am not going to react to this person. Like, I am confident in myself. I don't need to prove myself. Something like that is an affirmation to kind of set your mindset to go into a situation with the proper mindset. All right, what next? Direction. It's to set the direction of where you want to go in life. And it's not so much set the direction, but so I'm contradicting myself. But it's to reaffirm your direction, right? Like, so if you're saying, I want to be a successful real estate agent, what are the mindset and what are the actions and what's the attitude you need to have? What are the components of a successful real estate agent? And what are these things that you need to keep coming back to every day to keep on that path? Now, there's goals and there's priorities that we're going to address later on, and we're going to address every day with Define My Day. But there's mindset components to that. There's habitual components to that go into the affirmations, and we'll get into examples in a little while here. Reinforcement, right? Reinforcement. This kind of goes into mindset and direction. We want to reinforce ourselves, right? Rather than relying on anything outside of us to give us reinforcement and to bolster us, we want to do it for ourselves. I am strong enough to blank. You know, I am an ethical person. I am a great parent. I am a great sister. I'm a caring whatever. Like you can, it's to reinforce who you believe you are. It's sort of stating your values on a daily basis because you need to hear it. They say great leaders are reinforcing a statement every day to their companies, to the nation. They're reinforcing that every day. They're saying it. It's like a mantra every day. And you're doing that for yourself. You are your own best leader, right? So you're saying it to yourself. You are a confident person. So you kind of put your shoulders back a little bit. Yeah, I'm a confident person. I might not feel 100% confident. I might not feel like the most confident person in the world, or even as confident as I could possibly be. But I am confident. I'm going to work on becoming confident. I am growing my confidence. And you just kind of like, okay, all right, like you're kind of moving yourself forward. And that brings me to the last one here. It's to kind of pump you up once in a while. It's kind of pump you up. You know, if you've watched that Tony Robbins Netflix special, I mean, before he goes out on stage, he is breathing heavy. He's jumping around. He's getting himself psyched up. That's in a way an affirmation. That is like to get his mind straight, to make him run through a wall, right? And it's kind of the same thing. And going back to my sales call or my customer meeting, like I might be having a bad day. I mean, look, we had stresses, financial stresses. We had marital problems. I had issues with the kids. I had social things going on. I had lack of confidence. I had employee things. There were a lot of things. And I said, oh God, especially when my wife lost when the second pregnancy was lost, right? It was devastating. And I still had to go to work, right? In fact, I had to go to work more because we were in a financial situation because of the distraction for the couple of months that we were going through this. And so I wasn't really focusing on work. So I needed to get back or we were going to fail. And I needed to have the mindset going into a call like, you're confident. You can do this. Something to switch off all of the negative things and all the sad feelings I was having. I kind of had to switch them off or at least put them off until later and get through my next hour, get through the next 2 hours. It didn't always work. It certainly didn't work. In fact, there was one call I can remember. I almost was in tears because I just emotionally couldn't handle the confrontation or the conflict that naturally just happens in some kind of appointments. And so I couldn't handle it. But I was that much better because I was able to talk myself up just a little bit. So you pump yourself up with these affirmations also. And it's not just fake stuff. It's not like you're the greatest. I mean, you could do that, I guess, but that's probably not something I want to tell myself every day because if you start believing that you're the greatest, you're not really going to be understanding or empathetic either. You might be a little bit of a narcissist. So you don't want to be telling yourself that every day, but you do want to tell yourself things that get you motivated and help you get through hard times. All right, let me hit the comments here as we're going. The Cloudberries. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning from Orange Park. Good morning, Suzanne. Good to see you. All right. All right. So how are we going to do? Like, how do you write these out? Right? How do you write out your affirmations? I think one of the most important things is to be realistic with your affirmation. If you're somebody like I was in a group that studied the Think and Grow Rich book by Napoleon Hill. And part of that book, it's like The Secret and Tell the Universe What You Want. And there's a lot of people that follow that. But I think sometimes, in what maybe how people fail with that process, is that they think really big, right? And Think and Grow Rich tells you to think big, which is great. I want you to think big too. But what a lot of people do is they make it so big that there's no realistic way to get there, especially from like where they are. They can't see the path. They might be able to get there eventually. Whether it's, making $1 million a year or, losing 150 pounds, you might be able to get there, but the gap is so big from where you currently are that your mind knows that it's not true, right? So your mind can't bridge that gap. And so you can tell yourself this every day, but it just becomes this, this impossible to fulfill dream. And sometimes that can make you actually more sad or more defeated. So we don't want that to happen. So you can have big dreams, right? And I'll tell you, in the Think and Grow Rich program, if you want to call it that, I wrote down a statement that I make X amount of dollars per month. And I did it within a year. But I was very, very sure about making like a path to that money, right? A path to that income. I knew, I didn't just say it, I had actions that were going to lead me there. So, and that's the only reason I was successful. If I couldn't see a clear path to get to that place, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And a lot of times that takes a lot of practice, especially if you're not experienced in what you might need to do. So don't make it unrealistic. You want to make it realistic. Yeah, I mean, just don't overdo it with the affirmations. Don't make it too pie in the sky. Don't be blowing smoke up your own butt. Now we talked about why we do them for reinforcement. You want your statements to be reinforcing, right? You want your statements to be, a supportive of where you want to go. If your values are that you are an ethical person, then every day you might want to say, I am honest. I tell the truth even when it's hard. You want to say, like, if you have a value system that you're closely aware of, or a purpose, you want your affirmations to support your purpose or values. You get what I'm saying there? If anybody has a question, please let me know in the comments. But you want it to reinforce, your direction in life, your purpose for being here, your value system. You want to make reinforcing statements. It can't contradict your values and your purpose. If it contradicts your values and purpose, it's not going to work. So they have to be reinforcing statements. All right, next. I like to say mine in the I or I am structure. You don't want to, you want to make it like sort of like a present statement. Not like I will be. You want to make it an I am. I am ethical. I am, and I'm going to use this as an example, but it's not, we can improve on it. I am organized. You might not be organized. And if you look around your office and it's a complete mess, you risk your brain going, oh, that's not true. But if you use that statement when you're sitting at your desk and you're done with your stuff, and the choice is to throw something in the drawer or leave it sitting out on the desk, if you remember, because you've been saying this every morning, I am organized, then that's that split-second decision where you put it back where it belongs. And so if you can use it in that way, use I am organized. But if you use it and you're not making any improvements, if you're not connecting action to it, then you're gonna have to play with it a little bit, right? I make decisions that keep me organized. Maybe that would be an improvement on that one. I am healthy. right? I am healthy. It's not, I might not be as healthy as I want to be, but I am healthy. Improve on it a little bit. I make healthy decisions. Because that's going to lead you to being healthy, right? That's reinforcement to being healthy. I make healthy decisions. If you read, I make healthy decisions every day, maybe a couple times a day, and then when you're faced with a decision, do I eat a handful of licorice or do I grab an apple? I make healthy decisions. I'm going to grab that apple. And you just say it over and over again every day, sometimes multiple times per day, sometimes in the situation. I make healthy decisions. It sinks in. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it sinks in. You are leading yourself with these statements. All right. Here are some affirmation examples. I am steady. Now, a lot of these are mine right now, actually. These are mine. Most of these are mine right now. Mine have changed over time. This is what I'm focusing on now. In fact, I started my Define My Day this month writing them all fresh. A lot of times I bring them across from the previous month. This month I started off fresh. I am steady. I am steady, like, keeps me, like, basically I am every day disciplined. I am every day um, consistent, right? And I am consistent has been one in the past. I am steady is just what came to mind when I wrote this one a couple of weeks ago. I am an example. I am an example leads me to, I am leading by example. I am showing people how to do this process. I am showing my kids how to be a good person. I am truthful, right? Even if I have that little bit of a, like, I don't need I can fib a little bit here. I'm truthful, right? I am an attentive parent. So every time that I have that urge to, just keep looking at my phone when my kids are talking to me, no, I'm an attentive parent, right? I'm going to look up. I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to look up. I'm caring. I'm wealthy. Now, this is I'm going to go to this one because some people get money goofy. When I say I am wealthy, that could be money, right? That could definitely be money, and I can define that in any way that I want. It could be monthly income. It could be what I have in the bank. It could also be wealthy in in the relationships that you have. That's a statement for me that I have a specific goal for. Like, my wealth number for myself from a money perspective is specific. I am wealthy. This is my monthly income for my household where I would feel wealthy. Now, the purpose of this statement is not that I believe it's just going to happen. I'm not going to put it out in the universe and it's just going to happen. The purpose of this statement, there's parts, components of it. I behave the way a wealthy person would, which means I delegate when I can. I make smart decisions with my money. I am a producer more than I am a consumer. There's a lot of little sub-statements under this that belong into I am wealthy. So that one, and that's I wanted to make sure we went specific about that one in particular because there's a lot that goes in there. It's kind of a loaded statement with a lot of stuff underneath. I take care of my things because how many of us buy something and then immediately let it decline, whether it's our car, our house, our office chair, whatever you might have. I take care of my things, right? We tend to devalue things we already have. I take care of my things, including relationships. I take care of my people, kind of just related to that. I take care of the people around me. I take care of my customers. I take care of my employees. I take care of my family. I live with intent. I live with intent. I mean, that's like, this is kind of the entire Define My Day philosophy is to live with intent. Whatever you intend to do, the one thing I don't want you guys to do is let life slip by. I did it for probably 3 decades, maybe a little bit more. Just kind of like waiting for life to happen to me. Waiting for something to come along to save me or to make things better. either whether, in any way, really in any way. So how can I live with intent today? Is kind of what that statement is making me ask myself. Or when I find myself slipping into simply scrolling through a social media feed or a website or my emails, and I'm just sort of letting time fly by, I'm not living with intent. Now, that doesn't mean don't relax, don't enjoy yourself. You can be intentional about that too. It always reflects back to the actual impact it's having. If you check out for a couple of hours and the impact was increased stress, then that wasn't living with intent. If you check out for a little while and you come back restful, then you were intentional about that checkout. All right, let's go to the next one. I live with passion. And I have this in here because I can tend to not. I tend to get, this is identifying a weakness in myself, right? I know that I can tend to get bogged down, that I might not live with passion, that I might be just a little bit like not take the time to enjoy the moment. So knowing that's my weakness, I'm trying to bring that back around. I live with passion. So when that choice comes to me, when my boys are excited about something and I'm not sharing that excitement, or Lynn's excited about something and I'm not sharing that because my mind is on work or my mind is on something else I'm focused on. No, I'm gonna join in on that. Or, I'm gonna enjoy whatever I'm doing. I'm gonna be passionate about work. I'm gonna be passionate about hanging out with my kids. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and go, let's go, boys, let's go, let's get out there, right? I'm going to default more towards passion than, all right, just slogging along, right? Because I can tend to do that. I know that's my weakness, so that's my way of addressing that and shifting my mindset in that area. All right, last one. I focus on what matters most. And this is something that I want all of you to work on. In fact, maybe if you write this affirmation down for yourself, it would be incredibly smart. I want you to focus on what matters most. Given this laundry list of things we have to do, this gigantic to-do list, you have to pick out what matters most to you, and you have to be able to let go of everything else until that one thing is done. So if your relationships are incredibly important to you, your spousal relationships are incredibly important to you, you can't let work compromise that. If getting out of debt is incredibly important to you, you can't let paying down debt be overridden by a bunch of other stuff. Given the opportunity, not that you have it right now, but to go out instead of working late, or spending money instead of paying down debt. Like there's decisions we make every day that tilt us in the wrong direction, where if we closely identify, reinforce the things we want to do and the people we want to be, if we reinforce that every day through these affirmations, it becomes a lot easier to make the correct decision when we are in that position. So if you're telling yourself every day, I am debt free. If you're telling yourself that every day, knowing that you have a lot of debt, but you're telling yourself, I am debt free, or I behave like a person that doesn't have debt. However you want to rationalize it in your mind, so that when it comes time for you to spend money or save money, or spend money or pay down debt, or work a little bit of overtime and earn more, or just completely, check out, prime yourself to make the right decision. And when you do the affirmations every day, when that decision comes to you, you're going to be ready to make the right one. When I say I'm an attentive father, it helps me when I say that every day. It's defining me as a person. I'm defining myself every day by making that statement. And so when I make that statement every day, I will more easily identify a time or an opportunity to be attentive, or I'll be able to identify a time when I am not being attentive and it'll kind of like register, and I'll go, whoa, wait a minute, this is that opportunity. This is that time when you're making the wrong decision. Let's turn this around. And that can happen in all components of this, right? It doesn't have to be the financial or the relationship. It's at work, when you're doing your job, when you have the opportunity to work 10 more minutes or to complete a task, the right way. I see things to the finish. How many times do we get like 90%, 95% of the way done and we don't finish it? I see things through. I had a guy that did my bathrooms in my old house when we were moving out. We had to redo our bathroom so we could sell the house. And he didn't put up the shower bar. He got the whole way through. Did an entire week's worth of work. The bathroom's beautiful, but there's no place to hang a shower curtain. So I'm doing the final walkthrough, and I'm like, man, there's no shower curtain there. He's like, oh, you can get one at Home Depot. I can't get one at Home Depot. You have to drill through tile. I can't do that. Was his response. If his thought process, if his value system, if his daily affirmation was, I see projects through, and I would hope he's watching, because if he saw that, it would save him an unsatisfied customer. Because it's the last thought is that last experience is what I remember most about this. I see things through. You got to the finish line. You were inches away from the goal line. And he said, okay, that's good enough. If you can see yourself doing that, all the hard work, you put in all the hard work in the beginning, and you're right there at the end, and you can't finish. So a great affirmation is, I see things through to completion. Every time you start a project and don't finish, and you have half-finished projects around, and you can say to yourself, no, I see things through to completion. How much different would life be if we lived by that, right? I'm guilty too. I know. All right, a couple more real quick, and then we'll go into the questions. Here's some other ones. These are not mine, but these are other ones that I thought were very good, and some of them I may have used in the past. I do not judge. And this one came to mind because I see judgmental comments all the time on social media. And most people are judging from a place of they're not seeing their own faults, and they're just judging other people to make themselves feel good. And when we do that, we're not addressing ourselves. So I do not judge. I do not react. I respond. This is one I do say to myself. It's not one of my affirmations, but it kind of is an affirmation, just not documented. I don't react. I respond. So rather than losing my temper, I think about what the proper response, what my goal is, and what the proper response would be. I set and adhere to boundaries. This is a relationship thing for me. I was that person that wanted to earn somebody's love or respect or whatever, and I always felt like I had to earn it. And I would do it by overdoing it with myself, and then I would get resentful if I didn't earn the other person's admiration or friendship or whatever, because they were just looking at it as are you going to do this for me or what, right? And I'm trying to get that approval. So for me, something I needed to learn was I need to be healthy for myself. So I need to set this boundary. I can't fix things for you, right? You got to do it yourself. And it leads to much more healthy relationships. And if you have family problems, family issues, friendship issues, if you have a lot of conflict, setting boundaries is really important. And then adhering to them, not breaking those boundaries and saying, okay, just this once. You got to set the boundaries and not let them be overrun again, right? Even if they're boundaries for yourself. Doesn't mean you can't reevaluate your boundaries. It just means that you need to set them. Life will happen, right? Expecting that things will go wrong, and we still need to press on no matter what. It kind of creates that expectation. You'll notice these ones are not the I am statements. These are different, but still effective. So I set and adhere to boundaries. Life will happen. Just kind of saying, bad things are going to happen. Good things are going to happen. I still need to keep pushing on. That's kind of where that one's going. I do hard things, right? Given that choice we make every day, I can either back away or overcome, I do hard things. I mean, imagine how powerful that little statement is. Whether it's even doing define my day, or pressing on a little bit harder at work, having difficult conversations, I do hard things. That's actually, for me, difficult conversations are a point of practice for me because I want to do a couple of things. One, I want to kind of test other people's reactions to try to understand the proper way to have the conversation. But I also want to try to work on my toughness so that I don't react going up to that other one. I don't react. Like, this is more about them than it is me. So I'm going to try to have difficult conversations. And even like asking for things that you want, and the other person's not going to want to do it, but it's the right thing to ask for. There's a funny thing. There's an exercise for salespeople to like go to Starbucks and ask for a discount on the coffee. And I say 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get a discount. But all you're doing is practicing asking the hard questions. You're not getting upset, not reacting, just practicing asking the hard questions. And then I am growing, right? I am growing. It's just like that. Let's stay like, you know what? I can fail. I can screw up. But every day I'm getting a little bit better. I'm growing. Small steps every day. All right, I'm going to get into the questions here in the comments, and then we'll press on. So Kelly, ironically, I think I gave you some examples. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Good morning, Jeannie. Good morning. Good morning. How many affirmations? Kelly asks, how many affirmations is too many? I've written 2 pages while listening to you. So if you have 2 pages of affirmations, I would whittle it down because you don't want to make it like you don't want to make your affirmations so big that you don't do it. It's got to be the whole point of the Define My Day process is 5 or 10 minutes per day, get in and get out, right? This is just your quick, like this needs to be quick. It can't be too high friction. And so I would say, we gave you about 20 on that page. I would say that's probably the limit. I tend to keep mine about 10. And what you can do is if you find, you can write a lot and try to whittle them down. And then with the ones that are left over, even if it's still sort of too many for you, you can work with them for a week or two and find, which ones are impactful. And a lot of times I've combined some of them into one. And in fact, if you think back to that I am wealthy statement, there's a lot of statements built into that one. There's a lot of actions built into that one. Making good money decisions, a money goal, making producer versus consumer decisions. So, there's a lot of things that are just built into that one little statement. And as you become more familiar with it, you'll be able to better evaluate that for yourself. But I wouldn't make it. You don't want it to be more than a couple of minutes every day. You want to be able to get in and get out real quick. And you can put it on your notes app on your phone. We put it in the front of the book so you can just open it up real quick. But you want it to be something that you'll remember, so that in the situation when you don't have that reinforcement, like a notepad or a physical thing to show you, okay, yeah, this is my affirmation. You want to be able to have it pop into your mind when it needs to. When you're in that situation, where you respond instead of reacting, you want to have it top of mind so that when you're getting ready to blow your top about something, you kind of like, it pops in your mind like, nope, you respond, you don't react, right? So you don't want to have too many where you have to go through like this list, like your brain's going like, what applies here? You don't want to be there. You want to be able to have them top of mind. And I think having a smaller list lends itself to that. And you can always change it, you can always adjust. We sell erasable pens for a reason because I make a lot of changes in my Define My Day. And so you can start off with 15 and erase the ones you just don't feel are appropriate, or change the verbiage. You can change it week to week, day to day, whatever's appropriate for you. Angel says, I type mine out and print them so that I can get more since my handwriting is so big. That's good. In fact, what I did was I took, I don't have them here, but I took the shower notes and I have them in my shower. So I write them out, and I had to write small. So if you have big writing, you might need a lot of shower notes. But I wrote them out on my Aqua Notes, and I rip them off and then stick them to the wall, and I see them every day in the shower. So, while a lot of times I'm thinking about where I have to go in my day, like kind of like making notes for this session um, today, when I'm not thinking about anything in particular, I always default to the affirmations that are right under the shower head, stuck to the wall. So, um, Karen says, my new affirmation is I am qualified. I choose this because I am job hunting and often feel pangs of imposter syndrome as I begin a new application process. That's a good one. That is a good one because a lot of times that imposter syndrome is completely false, right? Now, I'm not qualified to be a NASCAR driver, right? So I can't just like, it would be delusional for me to say I am qualified to get a job as a NASCAR driver. But as long as it's realistic, I'm sure, and I'm sure yours is, if you are qualified on paper, but you still have that imposter syndrome, then you say to yourself, I am qualified. Like, regardless of all these negative thoughts, I am qualified. I'm qualified. And so when you have that little bit of doubt, you say, I am qualified. That's a great one. Great one. I am okay being me. Yep. Yep. I love it. I love it. And I don't this one is a good version of one that I'm going to give you an example as a not to do. So this is a very good, Kim, this is a very good one. I'm going to show you the wrong way to do this one in a little bit. Good morning from snowy Kentucky. Yeah, it's going to snow here. We're going to get like 2.5 inches. The boys are excited. Um, Angel says, imposter syndrome is something I tend to struggle with. In my field, there is so much to know, and I will never know it all. Yes. Yes. Yeah, and I can say, I had it with this. This hit me really hard when we were first starting out because, people would buy it and say, this is not worth it. And it would hit me so hard because I know how much work and hard work we put into it and how much it helped me. And we even started getting emails from people saying, this has changed my life. And they'd give us these stories. Some of them would have me in tears. And I still, even with those results, still had imposter syndrome and still was so wounded when somebody would say, this is crap. Talking about Define My Day. And so that took a lot of time. And that became sort of an unofficial affirmation for me, is that when somebody said something negative, I would have to go back to be like, no, I have this folder of emails. And that folder of emails of positive things that people have said to me kind of became my affirmations. It kind of became my proof that the negative stuff wasn't true. It doesn't mean we don't have room for improvement, but it always means that, or it does mean that we have something here, right? And that was even me coming on camera and talking to people, like, knowing that I had so many flaws, and I still have so many flaws, but knowing that I have something valuable to say, it's something that I work through even now. But in the very beginning, I mean, you were hard pressed to find me on camera, especially if I thought that somebody that knew me in my close personal life would be able to see it. I mean, it took a long time to break out of that, but it only happens through practice. It only happens by proving to yourself that you're not an imposter, that you do know what you're talking about. I mean, think about it. We're doing that our entire lives. I mean, you graduate college and they say, go out into the world. You're now a professional whatever, right? You're now an IT professional. You're now a psychologist. You're now a whatever. You go to med school and all of a sudden now you're a surgeon. You're still not nearly as good as somebody that has 30 years of experience. But you're not walking around, most people aren't walking around going, I'm an imposter. You're not. You have a degree. You went through years of learning. Like, you're not an imposter. Like, everybody has those doubts. You just have to understand that, like, you can continue to grow, and there's probably going to be somebody better. There's probably going to be a lot of people that aren't as good. and you do the best you can for who you're working with or for. That one hits close to home because I feel that too. Lori says, my new affirmations are I do hard things and I set boundaries and stick by them. Very good. Very good. Kim says, I am a workplace chameleon, the best worker bee in the hive, currently unemployed and searching for my next steps. I will be more assertive in my next job. DMD will help me focus. Very good. I recorded my affirmations and listen when I need reinforcement. Good for you. That's a good tactic that I don't use, but I bet you a lot of people would find that very valuable. You can use the voice memo app if you have an iPhone and just talk to yourself. You could do that in a minute. Just wake up and listen to something positive. I think it's good to read them out loud and record them and listen to myself and say them. Yeah, and so this is actually very. It's funny. I almost thought that was the same person with two different pictures, but it's not. Um, the saying them out loud that kind of knocked me off a little bit. I'm like Jeannie and Jeannie and Jean and Jeannie. Um, but so saying them out loud is more impactful, they say. So that's not a tactic that I put in here, but there is some scientific evidence that saying it out loud and hearing your own voice say it is more impactful. In fact, I think that's even in Think and Grow Rich, if I'm not mistaken. Like your statement from Think and Grow Rich, you have to say it out loud and it's more impactful. But it's actually been something that's been studied, that your brain, it becomes more real when you say it out loud. And we say the same thing about prayer and other things, is that, you know, when you say it out loud, you kind of focus on it a little bit more. It kind of becomes more real. So if you can say them out loud in the shower, in private, if you don't want anybody else to hear it, say it out loud. But there might be times when, you know, you just kind of have to mutter it under your breath when you're going into a difficult situation. I am steady. I am calm, right? I am focused. Something like that. So Kim, the Aquanotes, they're waterproof notepads. We sell them on the website. Right now they're on sale for Cyber Monday, and they're just like it's just a waterproof notepad. It comes with suction cups and a pencil, and you just write on them. You can erase, and they stick to the wall too. So it's pretty cool. If you get them wet, they stick to the wall, and you can definitely use it in the shower. Um, Yeah, there's Gene and then there's a Genie. So I was confused between the two of you guys. I was like, wait a minute. Um, it isn't. Yeah, it's in Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. So, yep, we got another Think and Grow Rich person there, right? All right. So now, what don't we want to do with affirmations? Now, I'm going to say some of these, and I don't want you to react if you have anything like this. But I'm going to give you the bad one, and I'm going to give you how I feel we can improve on it. So, affirmation don'ts is what we're going to talk about. Now, the first one, I am skinny. I am thin. I am in great shape. Something that's possibly not true, right? I can't say to myself or anybody, I am skinny. It would be humorous. It would be delusional. It is untrue. How can we make that a more positive statement? I am healthy. Because when you're going around making decisions, am I going to skip my workout today? No, I am healthy. Am I going to eat a bagel with cream cheese and bacon? No, I am healthy. I'm going to eat yogurt. How can we make it even better? I make healthy choices. That brings it from being an almost false statement to a current decision or a current action. I make healthy choices. So, am I going to skip my workout? I make healthy choices. It's not even a choice, right? I make healthy choices. Then I'm going to work out, right? Because if it's a present statement. I currently make healthy choices. It's going to lead me, it's reinforcing that goal of being healthier. It's reinforcing that goal of losing weight or whatever your goal might be. I make healthy choices. Same thing with the I am wealthy. You can change that to I make good financial decisions. Now, your goal might be a certain degree of wealth, but today, every day, I make good financial decisions. So when you're thinking about getting, that new car, or you're thinking about spending money on, $100 dinner, or you're thinking about buying another TV because it's on sale. You don't need one, but it's only $300. I make good financial decisions rather than I am wealthy, because you might be far from being wealthy, right? Or you might not have it clearly fleshed out what a healthy person does every day or a wealthy person does every day. But I make healthy decisions. I make good financial decisions. See how that changes it just a little bit? And it goes from being somewhat unrealistic or somewhat too far away to being completely present right now. I am great at my job. This could be effective, but if you know you're not, like this is an imposter syndrome. If you know you're kind of bad at your job, then you can't say I'm great at my job, because at some point, like it just might be delusional, right? You can't walk around going, I'm great at my job. And the other thing is it takes away that ability for growth. That's a very fixed mindset. I am great at my job. That's fixed. No room for improvement. Where if you change that to, I ask for feedback and improve daily. I ask for feedback and improve daily. That's a growth mindset. And that helps you grow in your job. Now, you don't ask for feedback from everybody, right? We'll talk about this at some other point in time. But you ask feedback from the right people, the people you want feedback from. I am growing in my job daily, right? There's ways to use affirmations to improve your mindset and what you're doing. Everybody loves me. Now, this is going back to, I think it was Kim that was talking about it. Everybody loves me. It's a Stuart Smalley one, right? It's impossible. We don't want to make impossible statements. Not everybody loves you. Not everybody is going to love you. You can't make everybody love you. This is kind of a toxic statement in many different ways, right? You can make this statement healthier by saying, I love myself. People I care about respect me. You can make it a more healthy statement. I am loved, right? It's not absolute by saying everybody loves me. I am loved. And kind of what's inherent in that statement is I am loved by people that matter. So make sure when you're making these statements that it's something that's not out of the realm of possibility. And that it's not like when you say something like everybody loves me, it's almost toxic. It's maybe a little bit narcissistic. It's unrealistic. It's delusional. It's like we don't want to make it like you can't make these statements for something that's never going to happen. You are loved. I am loved. I am loved by the people that matter. But not everybody loves me. You kind of see where I'm going with it? It's kind of a wishful thinking type thing going on there. So, Kim, I'm okay with being me, right? I am okay being me. That's a good spin on this statement. A very good spin on being. It gives you that confidence. Like, okay, so if somebody doesn't like me, if somebody doesn't love me, I'm okay with it. I'm putting my best self out there. My flawed self, my constantly improving self, my self that's taking steps every day. I'm putting that person out there and I'm okay with it. Doesn't mean I'm not improving. Doesn't mean I'm not getting better. Doesn't mean any of that stuff. What it does mean is that right now I'm okay with myself and I'm confident in myself. Kim, great example. Good for you. Thank you. All right, so affirmations, the summary real quick. Summary real quick. Your goals are to improve your mindset, provide direction, reinforce attributes, personal attributes and goals, and to pump you up. Sometimes you just need that reinforcement just to give you energy. Now, how to write them? Be realistic. Don't say anything like, everybody loves me. You want it to be reinforcing of your values and purpose. And you want to try to use I or I am statements, something that defines you and the decisions you're making day in and day out. Now, the final piece of this is when do we do them? And we touched on this earlier. At least once a day. First thing in the morning, prime yourself with these positive statements. In the time to do them, when you don't feel like doing them, that's when you need to do them most, right? And that's when you need to do them harder. Like instead of just reading the list, you actually maybe need to absorb it a little bit more and visualize what being that person in that statement is for you. Right? Like, I am loved by the people that matter. Visualize having a good conversation, that person that matters to you, how they feel about you. Feel it. Because in a time when you don't feel like doing these, when like whether you're depressed or frustrated or tired or whatever, these will help you. And it may be in an imperceptible way, but over time it works. So do it in the morning out of habit. Just part of your define my day every day. Just do it. But also kind of have them on the ready. Like, stick them in the shower, stick them on your mirror. You may have one really important one you even get like stenciled on the wall. Whatever works for you, but have it readily available. Keep it top of mind. The repetition works with this. Remember, 87% negative. Again, true or not doesn't matter. But you know for yourself, we doubt. We cast doubt in our own minds constantly. So if you can daily give yourself a little bit of positive reinforcement, you want to do that. Kelly says, one of my affirmations is, I am defeating diabetes with healthy choices and actions. Good for you. Good for you. I love it. That's a great statement. That hits it all. Yes, I'll put the summary screen up again in a moment, Kelly. You're welcome, Sherry. You're welcome, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you guys every week. Here's a summary screen. Let you look at it real quick. While that's coming up, I'm going to go into the people that won. If you're going to, while I'm reading the people that won our giveaways last week, please write in your affirmations now if you have a new one that you're going to use, because we're going to give away the Do One Thing Every Day That Inspires You book pretty soon. All right, so that's the summary. I'm going to take that off now. All right, here we go with the giveaways from last week. So last week, we had 2 giveaways on the main page and 2 giveaways in the user group on top of the giveaway of the coaching package we gave out. So the 2 giveaways on the main page were one for Aquanotes, and that is Amanda Gable. Amanda Gable, please email help@definemyday.com with your name and address and what you won, and Luann will get that out to you. Everybody, please do that. The pink Define My Day and the Kick-Ass stickers goes to Elizabeth Thompson. Congratulations. Those stickers are incredibly popular. They're only like $4 for a big pack, or maybe $6 for a big package of stickers, but they're pretty cool. That's one of the top sellers in our website. So you get the pink Define My Day and the Wake Up Kick-Ass stickers. That's Elizabeth Thompson. Please email help@definemyday.com. Monday in the user group, we gave away a free Define My Day for writing down or posting your one priority for the day. And that was Pam Bubner. So please please email help@definemyday that you won Monday's challenge in the user group. And then the Wednesday challenge in the user group for how your priority was moving you forward. That was Linda Topf, Topf. Linda, please email help@definemyday.com, and we'll get that out to you. All right, so do one thing every day that inspires you. We're giving away this book. I'm going to read one of them real quick. Every man's work, whether it be literature or music, or pictures or architecture or anything else, is always a portrait of himself. And that's Samuel Butler. And so the prompt, there's 2 prompts the following day, or that day. You can do one day and one the next. Draw yourself as a building. So draw yourself as a building. That would be interesting. And then write yourself as music is the next day. So it's like that way to kind of get the creative juices flowing. So this is one of the more abstract books for me. I like this one, the do one thing every day that centers you. This one's very good. This one is equally good because it makes me think. It's challenging, and that's what I like about this book. So I'm going to pick one person right now who has posted their affirmation, and we're going to give this one away to you. Please email, if you win, please email Luann at help@definemyday.com with your name, address, and what you want. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go through here and randomly pick one here. I'm not landing on one. Sorry, guys. I need to find a better way to do this. Okay, Karen Robertson says, my new affirmation is I am qualified. Oh, good. That's the one we talked about. Absolutely perfect. I am qualified. Karen Robertson, congratulations. You won the Do Everything That Inspires You. And yeah, congratulations. All right, everybody. I am going to go. Please join us next week. Next week, we're going to talk about purpose, values, and goals, and how Define My Day can help you with that. That ties into affirmations because our affirmations tie into that. It's a bigger concept or more abstract concept, but we will keep it within an hour. So I appreciate you guys joining me next week. Please check out our Cyber Monday sales on our website. Everything, just about everything is on sale except for that American flag book. After today, those deals will be expiring. So please grab everything you can. It's a lot of hard work that went into doing this all weekend, so I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate the work of Lynn and Luann. They're all getting this done, which is awesome. I hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy your time, focus on what matters, and live defined. I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.